Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Call of Duty recently responded to some rumors going around with Black Ops 7, with content, with various new updates that could be inbound to the game. So today, we actually have to go through a new dev talk and see what exactly the devs have announced prior to Season 2 and responded to, because they've got some interesting answers in this. It's almost a 9-minute long video covering some multiplayer stuff, some zombie stuff, some endgame stuff as well. Let's dive in and see what the devs have to say.
So first up, let's touch on weapon balance and gameplay updates. If you remember, before the holidays, we did have a fairly comprehensive weapon balance pass pushed live.
I remember.
Specifically touching on things like the Akita. Wanted to make sure that those shotguns weren't dominating your holidays too much. And then last week, we had our next weapon balance pass that went live, specifically touching on the Maddox. With that one, we did want to make sure that we maintained its unique characteristics of that close range capability while pulling in that mid to long range a little bit.
So it was a recap of the weapon balancing, I guess. Yes, we're aware. We've obviously covered those patch notes forward as well. I was hoping we were going to get some info on what's to come with weapon balancing, but nonetheless,
timings for gameplay balance updates, weapon patches. Depending on the season and where we're at, we do want to make sure we're taking our time on when those come live. We want to make sure that weapons like the Kogat, the so-called the Maddox, those have time to kind of settle in and see where they're at in the meta.
And that's partially because they're going to get all this data when those land in game. Like, obviously, if the Maddox drops and it's clearly the #1 gun, it's going to be hard to definitively tell that, because when that gun drops, everyone's going to be using the new gun. And so their statistics are going to show, hey, you know, 33% of players are using the Maddox right now, which is 8% more than the next best weapon. But is it because it's super broken, or is it because it's brand new? And then over time, they get more data and it's like weeks into it, it's like, oh yeah, obviously this thing now is clearly performing way better than intended. But that's why it takes maybe a little bit longer to respond to new weapons typically being on the stronger end of things, partially because of hype, partially because they are just sometimes that good.
Hear your feedback, of course, and then look at that against the data we're getting. So timings can vary, but generally we try to hit those weapon balance updates at the start of a season or very shortly after.
So it doesn't specifically say there will be weapon updates every mid-season, but basically at the launch of every new season, or maybe in the week following the launch of a new season, we'll end up having weapon updates basically as a guaranteed thing. And then mid-season, I guess it's just kind of dependent on how the season is going so far as meta balance goes.
So let's touch on the maps that we're seeing in Season 1
New
Reloaded.
maps, of course.
We have the brand new 6v6 map, Yakai. That does support every single 6v6 mode, and of course gunfight and face-off if you're playing those modes out there. That is generally our philosophy with our new 6v6 maps as we release in the future. And then we also saw Meltdown, which we haven't seen since Black Ops 2. And of course we saw the return of Fringe, which has been super awesome to play with the new wall jump edition in Black Ops 7.
So he does say the philosophy as far as maps go is, I guess, presumably to have them available as 6v6, but also in 2v2 and face-off where possible as well.
So weekly challenges. We've been very excited to see the reception of weekly challenges in Season 1, starting with the ballistic knife in week 1, onto the Deadeye drone score streak, and then with the M8A1 full auto conversion. I've personally been having a ton of fun hopping bouncing between MP, Endgame, and zombies to complete my challenges, and I'm looking forward to getting that Coral Streaks camo in week 9. And as a reminder, we are always watching player conversations. Just last week, we saw the feedback on the AK-27 Battle Scar conversion kit that was released in weekly challenges, and we improved that one quite a bit. The team is definitely always working on the next set of weapons, the next set of maps, the next set of gameplay updates, so please keep that feedback coming. And now we're going to take a look at a few of your questions for multiplayer. So first up,
this is what we're really interested in.
So the update to the Scout hybrid combat specialty change will be coming soon, and specifically that one will be where instead of a full counter to the Harp score streak, Scout will turn the enemy player into a red dot instead of a directional indicator. This one was a bit more involved. Usually we like to try to push out those updates a bit quicker, but this one required some code work, so it does need to be in a full patch.
So I oftentimes see comments like this a lot because just people aren't aware of what goes into fixing something and actually putting that fix out into the game, whether it's a hot fix or something. So for instance, with this Harp, counter that Scout offers, this has been talked about since before the holiday break. I believe we were covering Matt Scrawn's tweets, or maybe it was over the holiday break, where he confirmed, yeah, Scout's going to be getting a nerf, and now we're here post Season 1 Reloaded coming up on February, still waiting for the full update. Season 1 Reloaded likely was almost probably solidified and finalized before the holiday break so that it was ready when they came back from said break, so that wasn't able to make it into the actual code changes and updates there alongside that title update in time, hence why we're still waiting on it, and it won't just be a hot fix update. So some updates, some fixes or adjustments do require a full-on title update, which can make things a little bit tricky because of what studios have to go through to get that title update out. There's a similar situation with a lot of updates that go on over in Battlefield as well, where the devs confirm something but they say, hey, yeah, this is a few updates down the road because we have to wait for like a full-on title update or something like that.
Next question. When ranked play?
Season 2, we know
as
this.
we said before, ranked play is going live at the launch of Season 2.
We're
very
confirmed.
excited to see everyone hop out there and start grinding those ranks. And of course, we have some awesome rewards for everybody to earn.
So Season 2 launch should be February 5th, according to the countdown timer. That's when ranked play will be there, at least for multiplayer. That's the context he's talking in here.
All right, next question. Are Babylon and Stakeout coming to Black Ops 7?
So this is funny because, of course, if you caught yesterday's video, we talked about a new leak that featured Babylon, Stakeout, and I think it was Skyline in the game files as potential recycled maps coming back to Black Ops 7 from Black Ops 6. And then an hour and a half after I posted this video, this dev talk dropped and they are responding to this. So let's see what Matt has to say about these controversial leaks.
Those maps are not currently planned for Black Ops 7, but we will have a few additions we're excited to talk about soon for future seasons. The team is currently focused on new 6v6 maps, as well as, much like Meltdown, some maps you haven't seen in a very long time.
I do think that partially this is in response to the reaction of those leaks when Reality and the other data miners are talking about Stakeout coming back, peak COD brain rot, you know, or Skyline or Babylon, these BO6 maps. It's like, okay, well, it's just Black Ops 6.5 at this point if we're going to bring back all these maps from just last year. I think there was a lot of negative feedback, and maybe they saw that because the files, the leakers have posted them, they are referencing Stakeout for Black Ops 7, Babylon for Black Ops 7, etc. here. So them saying no, Matt now saying they're not coming to the game, I think might be in response to the community feedback there, but this does kind of confirm we're going to continue to see a lot of Black Ops 2 remasters, and we do have like Yemen and Plaza and I think a few others that have been rumored so far, so we can see those come back.
It's my time for today. Let's kick it over to Kevin Drew to talk about Endgame and zombies.
All right, Endgame and
so
zombies
starting with
updates.
Endgame, it's really cool to see
Kevin.
the positive reactions to the Deathclaw Hunt event, as well as the Phantom skill track.
It's cool. I like it.
Both of those things I think have been received really well, and it's kind of good to see the feedback for that because that really just informs Endgame in general. This is a brand new mode for us, and we're really excited about it because we're not really afraid to touch any aspect of it. And so it's really driven based on what's resonating with players, and the team has some really exciting new things coming at Season 2 for Endgame, so keep an eye out for the blog.
So what's important here is that the devs have previously confirmed that Endgame has updates planned through Season 2 and Season 3, but then at that point they were going to see how the mode was received in terms of feedback, if it was getting a lot of players, if players enjoyed it, if they were, you know, not really playing it, their retention was bad, they wouldn't continue to do updates for it. But Kevin's saying that the support and the feedback so far has been really good. Might indicate that we're going to see some long-term Endgame updates here. We'll have to keep an eye out, but that's something to take note of here. I think that's pretty important.
Happy belated 115 Day to everyone out there who celebrates.
We just got this blog the other day.
You could see from the blog that we showcased a lot of cool stuff coming from the community, as well as a bit of a preview for what's going to be coming in Season 2 and Season 2 Reloaded. The roadmap and blog are going to have plenty of details on what's coming as well. So there's been a handful of bugs regarding augments recently. This is something that is a top priority for the team, and we've been working around the clock to fix all of these. So a couple of examples of some of our fixes is Melee Macchiato wasn't working with the ballistic knife. Now it should be. And then the multi-pack augment for Mule Kick wasn't working, and that also should be working as well. So let's talk about how we've
seen a lot of those on the Trello
for things in zombies. Depending on what the thing is, it can take a long time because we have to make changes to the executable, versus other things can be a lot easier to fix and can be patched overnight.
Hot fixes.
So we try to evaluate each issue on a case-by-case basis. There's definitely kind of this idea of like, sometimes, you know, there's some very clear bugs or exploits, right? Like automated scripts that allow you to get to round 99 without doing anything.
Just directly calling it out.
Very clearly, like we need to make sure that that's not happening, like that invalidates the experience and the challenge that a lot of people are going after.
So I do really like the fact that they're being a bit more transparent on their update priority and how updates actually work, because I think a lot of players will just see, okay, this is super broken in game. Why aren't you prioritizing this? Why is this not instantly fixed? But this is getting updated and that got patched, and it could come down to needing to have actual title updates versus a hotfix and what's going to change there in the prioritization. So I really like the transparency behind that. It's just helping inform more players on that subject, which was ultimately pretty important.
An example of a not so obvious case where it might look like we're nerfing fun is using like the TED task as an example for survival maps. We slightly extended the variance of when those could appear. That actually came from me. When in playtests, I felt like having those appear so frequently was actually a little distracting from just the core survival experience. But I can see why, you know, people react and see that as nerfing fun, because we are occasionally making it so you can't earn as many rewards. So in that example, you know, we're listening, we're gonna revert that change to bring it back to how it was. So as you might have seen in the blog, Cursed Survival will be coming at the start of Season 2. You'll be able to use all of your relics.
Should be pretty fun.
All the survival maps. This is something I had talked about late last year, wanting to make sure we did it right, making sure we are able to reward you for doing this. So we do have a cool set of rewards for doing different tiers on each of the survival maps that include really nice XP bumps,
so good for grinders,
and some unique weapon charms that are based on the relics themselves. This will be private matchmaking as well, just like normal Cursed. The reason we do that is because you can activate all sorts of different relics and create really difficult game sessions, so we don't want people to publicly matchmake into that. But you should
get like
still be able to
griefers
play
and
by
all sorts of
yourself
stuff
or
like
with
that.
your friends. This is a mode that's brand new to us as well, and it's really exciting because we get to see what resonates with players and react to that. So we have plans to make plenty of relics throughout the rest of the seasons. We're really excited about the relic designs in general.
Just more content, never a bad thing.
You know, we're all making together. We're listening to the community. We have our own new ideas about different ways to play the mode and different combinations of how you can put all that together. So something we're just really happy to be making on and are excited about. So now we'll touch on some of the questions coming from you all.
And this is what I care about the most. The Q&A stuff, I think, is where we get the most telling answers.
Can we buff the LGM 1, right? The map's been out for a month now, so we're still evaluating it. In the case of this type of wonder weapon where it has infinite ammo, we are very cautious about damage, but we also hear that it's not quite doing enough damage at high rounds, so that's something we're still evaluating. Also, the LGM 1 will be buffed in the Mars survival map coming at Season 2, so it's something that we're still very much looking at for balancing. Any further balance adjustments for Oscar? So
Oscar,
we feel like Oscar's in a pretty good place.
Like Oscar.
His role is a unique one. He is a tank that actually discourages you from trying to kill him. That being said, we understand that if you do go through the great lengths of taking him down, the rewards could be slightly better. So that's something we're still looking into, but no promises.
I hope they do better rewards, because the first time I took him out, I thought I was going to get some cool stuff, and then I didn't, and I didn't try it again. I was good on that.
Any updates on legacy weapons coming to...
More rumors responded to. So on the multiplayer front, they addressed the rumors of Black Ops 6 recycled maps, the brain rot maps coming back. Now we get the rumors of all the legacy weapons being in zombies. Let's see what Kevin has to say.
So this is something that we're excited about with the team. We're still trying to figure out the right way to do it, and this is kind of an extended stretch goal, but I think the way we do it will be something that players will really enjoy.
If I had to guess, purely guess here, I think they probably do it as just like wall buy stuff, maybe mystery box stuff, and it's not full on like loadout, maybe, you know, from the main menu and everything. Perhaps to, you know, bring more significance to them in a sense, or make it feel more special when you get a legacy weapon. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but that does basically confirm legacy weapons are fully coming back to zombies. They're just finishing up how they exactly want to do it.
The remaining relics, bugged or just undiscovered? They're just undiscovered.
So you can get them, just no one knows about them yet.
And, you know, no more hints as of today, but keep hunting and looking for them. So that's it for me.
And there we have it. That's our new dev talk, where Call of Duty did actually directly respond to some pretty big rumors out there in the community. I always think these are good, whether you're big into multiplayer or if you're big into zombies and maybe not the other. I think whenever we get any kind of transparency or communication from the devs, it's a good thing. I hope they continue to do these throughout the year as frequently as possible. Quite frankly, these are always super useful for just informing players and getting more info out there. That's gonna wrap things up though. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button to guarantee you're always in the know for everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.